Okay, my name is Bryan Duncan, and the title of my talk is Integrating NASA Resources into the Standard Operating Procedures of Air Quality Agencies in Low and Moderate Income Countries, LMICs. And I have a subtitle, Origin Story of the CityAQ Initiative. My co-I is Kevin Cromar of NYU, and he is a health professional. So let me start off my talk first before I tell you about my PI project. Tell you about a workshop that Kevin conceived and I co-led with him in May of 2017. So he approached me in 2016 and said, would you be willing to be a part of an American Thoracic Society workshop? And it would bring together global experts across multiple disciplines and agencies to discuss capabilities to monitor global air quality. And these would include free and cost-effective capabilities. And there were two recommendations from the report that really resonated with me and influenced my work going forward in HACAS. The first is an integrated approach to air pollution monitoring, a new paradigm. And this graphic clearly shows that, where you basically take information from where you can get it. This could be satellite data, global model, low-cost sensors, regulatory monitors, and they cover a broad range of temporal and spatial scales. So the idea is, how do you integrate these? The second recommendation that resonated with me was the potential power of non-regulatory data in LMIC. So most of the world's population has no access to air quality information. So the idea here is you could use free and cost-effective sources of information for your air quality monitoring strategy. And they could include low-cost sensors, satellite data, and global models. So my PI project went through a bit of evolution, and it grew from what I considered a really great project into something much bigger and better than I conceived, and certainly ambitious. So originally I proposed to develop a space and health-based air quality index called a HACI. And the stakeholder was UNICEF. They were interested in getting air quality information to help assess how children's health is being affected by air pollution around the world, and the advantage of the satellite data is spatial coverage. In November of 2016, UNICEF approached me at a meeting and said, hey, we're also interested in global air quality forecasts to alert parents with asthmatic children of impending air quality problems. So fortunately, the NASA GMAO, Global Modeling Assimilation Office at Goddard, had an idea to do such a thing with their Earth system model. And they call it GLCF, for Composition Forecast. And Stephen Bosson, the director of GMAO, actually funded his team to develop this option or this capability. And it went live in November of 2018. Christoph Keller was the lead developer, and Emma Nolan was also one of the major players in the development of GLCF, or these global air quality forecasts. So in the meantime, while this was being developed, we began engaging stakeholders such as IBM, the Army Public Health Center, the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, and two world cities, Quito and Rio de Janeiro. And we began a handshaking process, trying to get to know them. What did they actually need? And they had a rather diverse set of needs. For instance, some wanted forecasts, some wanted an easy way to communicate air quality information. So Kevin Cromar developed a Health and Air Quality Index, or HACI. And they also wanted different satellite data sets. And we realized very quickly that this project was growing beyond what we could do ourselves. And we didn't have the expertise to really work with all of these stakeholders, especially the aspects of culture in all these different world cities. So in 2019, in August, we had a meeting with the World Resources Institute, Jessica Seddon and her team. They're the global air quality leads. And we told Jessica about the project and our concerns about dealing with so many different stakeholders. And she said, I have a plan. And she called it the CityAQ Initiative. So the ultimate goal of CityAQ is to advance the development of an integrated approach to a global air quality monitoring system. And it takes advantage of satellite data, the forecast systems, low-cost sensors, whatever is available. The idea is to give cost-effective and reliable air quality information to air quality and health professionals around the world. So she recommended initially a pilot study of 6 to 10 cities. And then the idea would be to learn from working with these 6 cities or these 10 cities in this pilot study, and to improve upon the initial methodology of integrating NASA resources, satellite data, the forecast into their standard operating procedures. And the idea was eventually CityAQ pilot study would evolve or grow into the CityAQ initiative, where we had a global reach, where we created, for instance, illustrative case studies on how to use NASA resources for air quality monitoring. Here's a schematic of the CityAQ pilot study. Part of it is already started. It was initiated last fall. And NASA GMAO is integrating their forecast into 2 pilot cities. One is Rio de Janeiro, the other is Quito, Ecuador. And interestingly, Christoph Keller, the lead developer of GFCF, had developed also a machine learning technique where he takes the air quality data from these cities, like from Quito, and uses his machine learning or bias correction technique to develop what he called tailored forecasts for the cities. And this is a common technique that people are using now to improve forecasts and to actually tailor them for cities. The areas in green are what I propose to the next HACAS. So we're starting to work on this, but it's more in the idea formulation stage. So the idea is I would work to integrate the forecast and satellite data into the standard operating procedures of the pilot cities. And we would get feedback all along the way on their needs, what they find troubling, what they find very useful, and so on. And it would be a very iterative process. Kevin Cromer has experience working with Mexico City and the states of Utah and New York. So he translates the science of air quality data to city health and policy decision makers. So he has agreed to work with a few of these cities just to help them along. And finally, the societal benefit is that not only would the city's local citizens get air quality information that they need, but it would empower the citizens to affect change with their policymakers. And it would also allow the policymakers to make informed decisions on, for instance, developing air quality mitigation strategies. So here are the project team members. And I've named most of them so far, but let me just point out Anna Prados. She has expressed an interest in working with us to integrate some of our illustrative case studies and lessons learned into our set training material. So that would help us reach many more cities around the world. And for UNICEF, Nick Reese was our original contact, and he rotated out, and Amy Wickham has rotated in, and she's very excited about working with us on this going forward. And she says that she's willing to have in-country personnel work with the in-country personnel of WRI to actually enhance this project, this CityAQ initiative. I'm also very proud of the Tiger team I was co-leading with Jason West, another HACAS member. It was called Efficacy of Environmental Regulations in the Eastern U.S. And I think at some point in 2016, I don't exactly remember, but Susan Weirman of Marama and Tad Abram at MDE, the Air Quality Agency in the Northeast, saw me at a meeting and said, Bryan, can you use satellite data to show that air quality is improving in the Eastern U.S.? And can you also estimate the benefits of these air quality improvements on human health? And this was a perfect Tiger Team project for HACAS because it required all the different areas of expertise of the team members. So we did this study, and of course the satellite data clearly show that air pollution is improving. Jason West did a health study to estimate the health benefits. And we packaged the information in a number of deliverables, including a 4-page fact sheet, so they can the air quality managers can go to Capitol Hill or their constituents, or even talk to their upper management about how air quality is improving. Please go to this website and you can see more about this project and the deliverables. Another project that I was involved in was a project with the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, or BOEM. And I was the PI of an interagency agreement that began in about 2017. And they came to NASA and said, can we use NASA resources to monitor offshore air quality over areas of oil and natural gas exploration in the Gulf of Mexico? And my answer at the time was, yes, of course, but we need a little time to figure this out, exactly what we can and can't do out over the ocean. So it turns out that, yes, the satellite data can be used, and the air quality forecast, the GLCF forecast, can also be used. Here's an example of some of our illustrative case studies for them of how they might diagnose air quality, the sources of air quality, and also predict changes with the forecast system. Our stakeholder contacts have been Holly Inns and Angel McCoy, and they have been a joy to work with. Okay, so the last thing that I'll just mention very briefly, I have developed and maintained an air quality website called Observations from Space. Please go check it out yourself. And for the sake of time, I won't go through all of these, but it's chock full of information and resources for stakeholders. And I'm very proud of this. And if you have any recommendations on improving it, or you would like to contribute content, let me know. So going back, to sum up, as I said, this integrated approach to air pollution monitoring, especially in the LMIC, really resonated with me from this workshop report and influenced the way my HACAS project unfolded. And if you have any questions for me or would like any additional information, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.